It's played host to some of Australia's most famous criminal cases, from Lindy Chamberlain to Peter Falconio. This year, the Northern Territory Supreme Court is celebrating its centenary. In the 100 years it's been operating, it's had a major influence on the law relating to Aboriginal people. Now the court has opened its doors, allowing the public to take a behind-the-scenes look at what goes on. Genevieve Hussey went along to the open day.
Your Honour, my name is Beat the Rap and I appear for the accused who is seated in the dock.
It's a court case with a difference.
Members of the jury judge neutral.
A mock trial at the Supreme Court, designed to give the public a taste of the court process.
How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
The perception that we're soft on crime really is not so. The idea of getting people in and showing them, for example, the mock trial, is to give them an idea of how it really works.
This year, the Northern Territory Supreme Court celebrates its centenary. What began as a frontier court in a bush town has become more sophisticated. Over the 100 years, Indigenous defendants have formed a major part of the court's work, and this has proved a challenge.
We have been leaders in dealing with Aboriginal crime. The Inunga rules set out standards that police must adopt in relation to dealing with Aboriginal people, and those have been applied now right around Australia.
You've been framed, Mr Murdoch?
But it's been cases like the trial of Bradley John Murdoch for the murder of Peter Falconio that have captured worldwide attention. A huge national and international media contingent travelled to Darwin to cover the trial proceedings.
That generated enormous interest, and books have been written, films have been made. My predecessor is looking for Brad Pitt to play him in the film. Makes life interesting, yes.
The reason that he defended the charges was that he did not remember entering the shop or taking the money.
Inside the courtroom at the mock trial, a tale of alcohol-fuelled theft is unfolding.
The accused recognises that he does have a problem with alcohol.
While this is make-believe, alcohol-related crime is a familiar story in the Northern Territory court system.
We see it in the crimes of violence, which are the really, really distressing cases. There is alcohol in most of them, so greater than 50%.
Where did he cut?
It seems to me that this community has to address the issue of alcohol and what it is doing to our community.
I'm ready. All right, hold on.
The Chief Justice says he's seen the benefits of an alcohol permit system in place on Groote Island. He says there's been a drop in the number of cases from that area coming before the court.
People from Groote used to be customers of ours on a regular occurrence, but not now. We don't see too many at all. And the feedback is that the police have less call-outs, the domestic violence is down, alcohol-fuelled violence is right down.
So you can see that's your fingerprint.
Outside the courtroom, the Supreme Court open day is in full swing, and the forensic science branch display is proving popular with the public.
There is definitely that sex appeal associated with forensic science, and sometimes we have to do a bit of myth busting associated with that.
It's fascinating to have an insight into the whole legal system, and also to experience the cells as like a feeling to get, so you don't ever end up there.
Back in the courtroom, the jury is delivering its verdict.
We believe him not guilty, but he looks so shifty that we've actually changed our verdict. We find
Sentencing follows, first by the jury, then the judge.
You get an opportunity for people to see or to compare what Joe Public would decide as opposed to what the judge would decide.
The jury decide he needs a 12-month rehabilitation program, 100 days of community service to repay the money he stole and pay for damages, and a sunset to sunrise home curfew.
Because I don't think we're very far apart, but just...
The judge orders 6 months jail, suspended on a 2-year alcohol-free bond.
It was actually not far off. We were quite surprised. We, in this instance, felt that perhaps it wasn't served by a jail term.
It was very good. Usually truth will out. I thought it was very good.
It demonstrates that when you have all the facts, what the courts do really is as the community would expect it to be.
With the open day over, it's business as usual at the Supreme Court. But the Chief Justice hopes those who visited will be back.
I'd love for them to come into the court. It's a beautiful building, there's beautiful artworks to see, and there is good theatre going on in each of the courtrooms. It's not theatre for the participants, but if you are a person who's not involved, it is well worthwhile watching, and I invite the public to come and have a look at any time.
Genevieve Hussey with that report.